my jazz on. Not my jazz, but I got the jazz station on. Man. I'm just hella happy to be alive, for real. One of the things that makes me like, and I don't know if I did this before, but I'm gonna do it again anyway because it's valuable knowledge. It's valuable to me, and hopefully it doesn't offend anybody. So like, grateful to be alive. I always say like unity is the primary principle. It's the primary principle of humanity. In recovery, in the literature of recovery, in the program I'm in, it talks about unity as being the first. It's the first principle of the traditions of the fellowship that I'm in, and it's also literally the very first principle in the steps as well. Unity is the first principle in the steps. The step number one, people tend to, well, not tend to. It's actually, the core of step number one is the principle of surrender. And go ahead, Kappa. The core, the fucking cop just crossed the street. The core of the principle number one, step one, is surrender. We came to believe that we are powerless over our addiction, and that lives have become unmanageable. Our lives have become unmanageable. So we surrender to the idea that addiction makes your life unmanageable. That's it. Because denial is so strong. Like, no, I can do this. That's the only thing you surrender. You don't say, you don't surrender. You don't give up. You know what I mean? You just go, okay, all right. I surrender to the idea. I'm not going to fight that fact anymore. And it's not that way for everybody. You know what I mean? Some people can get high and it's not a problem. Some people can get high on certain things, and some people can, and others. Anyway. But the principle, the very first word in that step is we. We admitted we were powerless and that our lives had become unmanageable. Powerless over our addiction. We is unity. We is unity. So that's kind of cool. I didn't mean for it to go this goddamn long. I'm gonna pick up the pace. So we is unity. It's the primary principle of recovery. It's how people survive. It's how people recover. Like, it's very difficult to have any kind of sickness or illness. You can recover on your own, right? But it's a lot more nurturing when you have somebody caring for you and tending to, certain needs that assist your healing. So unity is how people heal. Not only is it how people heal, but it's how people are developed in gestation. So when and this is what I'm talking about, this whole thing. So we talk about like a sense of emptiness, or a sense of longing, or a need to feel validated, or a need to feel welcomed or accepted, or liked, or loved. This need, just a human condition that we need to feel this. We need to feel part of. You know what I mean? And even if that means we need to feel part of, and you're a hermit and you feel part of nature, you still feel a part of. And that's the longing. That's the emptiness. And without an understanding of what this is, just a simple part of the human condition, we tend to try and fill this sense of longing, or the sense of emptiness, with material items, with material wealth, or with relationships, or with work, or with the need to control others, or the need to control situations. So we tend to try and fill this sense of longing, need, or emptiness, or spiritual void, as it gets put sometimes. I don't like to put it like that. It's just kind of part of the human condition. We tend to try and fill it with things outside of ourselves. So even drugs, alcohol, we tend to try and soothe that feeling of loss with things outside of ourselves, outside of our being. And like, one of the things is like God, right? God fills that for you. But some people don't believe that. Some people don't believe in God. Some people didn't grow up that way. Some people have not learned how to accept a power greater than themselves as the creator. Whatever, to each his own. Like, I have my own personal beliefs and spiritual guidance, or spiritual, like, self-acceptance, spiritual self-acceptance. I have a little bit of that, you know what I mean? I have a somewhat of an understanding that works for me, and everybody can have one that works for themselves, that works for you. So having that sense, and we try and fill it with things outside of ourselves to make ourselves feel complete, be it a relationship, marriage, anything like that. But the fact is unity. So we seek unity. That's really, at the end of the day, that's what we seek. And unity is how people heal. Unity is how people thrive. Unity is how, with unity, like a collective effort produces an abundance. So with unity, you got one person that can farm their own personal land and maybe provide enough vegetables, and even if you have livestock, maybe one person can tend a garden or a farm that would feed themselves for a year, or maybe a family, maybe. But if you get 10 people farming 10 times that land, they're going to produce enough food for 100 people easily. Like 50 people on a strawberry farm. 50 people on a strawberry farm are going to produce enough strawberries for like 10,000 people. Like, that's how it works. That's what a collective effort produces in abundance. So that's how people thrive. People thrive together in cooperation. And people are also developed in gestation while we're being developed inside the womb. We're literally in unity with another human being. So we're in unity with another person, and everything that we take in comes through another person. All of the energy, all of the electricity, all of the nutrition, it goes through someone else in order to get to us. So that's unity. That's like the ultimate primary example of what unity is. Not to mention, it takes unity to make that child, to make that baby. It takes two people coming together to make that. And that's the way it works. And then when we're born, that unity is separated. That unity is cut. That unity is disconnected. I don't want to say broken, because it's broken is like, makes it seem like there's something wrong with it. It's just disconnected. And we don't have the understanding, like, generally speaking, like, especially religion doesn't tell you this. Religion just tells you that you feel the need, you feel the need to control, and the need of, like, the 7 deadly sins. It's just part of being human, because, you know what I mean? Because Satan was cast down into a human body and all this other shit. And because Eve bit the apple, that doesn't do me any good. True or not. Whether it be true or not, I'm not gonna dispute whether it's true or not. That information doesn't do me any good. It doesn't help me develop an understanding of life that empowers me to be the most whole version of myself. But this understanding of this unity gets disconnected when we're born. Like, that umbilical is cut when we're born, and then we're in this world. We're in this world. We're no longer warm. We're no longer nourished. We're no longer protected. We feel the coldness, we feel the roughness of the blankets that get put on us, all these things, all these new sensations that we never experienced before. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know how to deal with it because you're an infant. And so we cry for everything. And that's the ego. That's the id, the inner child of everybody that still exists within everybody. It's that energy that cries for what it needs, and then depends on its tribe, or its or its community, or its family, or however this person is being brought up. Depends on outside. It depends on something outside of itself to take care of itself. So then that thing, you know what I mean, that sense is, it's a pattern that gets reaffirmed, that sense of emptiness. So you seek outside of yourself to fill this void of being hungry, of being tired, of just wanting love, wanting to be picked up, wanting to be hugged, wanting to lay next to your parent. Like, all these things is part of it. But when I understand that it's just part of the human condition, it gives me a whole new outlook that, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, instead of trying to seek something outside of myself, I can just accept that self-acceptance of, oh, wait, that's just part of the spiritual, that's just part of who we are. That's a spiritual self-acceptance I was talking about. That's just part of human. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to make it so that someone who died on a cross allows me to commit as many sins as I want. I'm not going to make it like that. I'm not saying that anyone who believes that is wrong. If it works for you, okay, beautiful. It doesn't work for me. I have to have like this what I'm talking about makes me feel and hold myself more accountable for what I do, for my actions, and like process life on a more on a deeper understanding of reality. That's the part that I was worried that, I don't want to offend anybody, but you know what? You don't have to listen to this. You feel me? You don't have to believe anything I say. You don't have to believe a word I say ever. But I'm sharing this shit because it's true. It's my truth. It's part of the experience that I have as a human, as a person, as somebody who is also is just a fallible person. Fallible. I can make mistakes, at the same time divine, right? So I can make mistakes, and at the same time I'm divine. And continuing to make the same mistakes, calling on something outside of myself to forgive me for those same mistakes, making them over and over again, that's not doing me any good. That's not doing like the service to who I am, and it's not doing a service to my community. It's not doing a service to you know what I mean? It's not doing a service to the empowerment and uplifting humanity. The stories that we learn in the Bible, the stories that we learn in religion are somebody's account of history. You feel me? The account of history is one thing. Like, you can read history and you can learn history and you can take lessons from history, but applying the moment on a daily basis, like living in that moment on a daily basis, like kind of losing this point right here, but like living in the moment on a daily basis, I feel more empowered to make healthy choices, to make choices that are going to benefit not just me but everyone around me, with the understanding that, look, we make mistakes, we're fallible, we can learn from those mistakes. We have been, whether you see it as God-given right or God-given ability to make a choice of one or the other, or if it's just like part of the human condition, either you make this choice or you make this choice. However you look at it, there's choice that we're given. So being part of, like, God's will or God's plan you can't, I don't want to say this, but I don't see it as behaving self-centeredly, behaving greedily, behaving jealously, behaving enviously, behaving lustfully, behaving slothfully. I don't see that as God's will. Like, even along the lines of religion, that's not God's will. Like, you could say it's part of a divine plan if that's how you look at things. Okay. And you could say there's good and evil. Okay. But that's not God's will. That's self-will. And then when you align your self-will with God's will, that becomes what your true will is. And all of it roots back down to unity. Everything and everyone is connected, like physically and spiritually and emotionally connected on some form or another. And everything and everyone else depends on everything and everyone else in some way or another. Maybe not directly, but indirectly. Like my actions over here, if I throw this can, if I throw this bottle, this empty water bottle in the ocean, that's going to affect somebody. It can affect somebody like in India. You know what I'm saying? When the bottle floats up, or like when we bring our landfill and store it in third world countries, or in India, or in other countries where we store our garbage. Like, that's how we are connected, and everything we do affects everything else and everyone else around us. So like having that in mind, you know what I mean? Having that in mind, and having it in mind that, this sense of emptiness, one way to fill it is to just be creative. Like, create things, like, create, and not just create things. Like, sometimes I create things from a point of pain, and it helps to release that pain. And I listen to a lot of music that sounds like it's from, that is from a place of pain. It's from a place of it's from a place of injustice. It's from a place of violence. Like, that's the existence that a lot of music is based in, and all kinds of genres of music is based in violence and pain. It's part of the way it is. So I listen to the pain of others, and that releases the pain, that releases their pain, and pain shared is pain lessened. I absorb it, and then the same thing for me. I put what I need to release, what the pressure I need to release, I put it out, and it gets absorbed by anybody who listens to it. That's unity right there. That's like things, that common bonds that bring us together. We have more things in common than we have things that can divide us and tear us apart. We have a lot more essential things in common than we are different. When we focus on the things that we have in common, the differences get celebrated, and it's diversity. We look at it as diversity, not that's different than me and we're against. We look at it and goes, oh, we have all this stuff in common, but they're different in this area. That's beautiful. It's different. It's a different mindset. It's not people against people. It's people appreciating the diversity of humanity. And the diversity of humanity is just as essential as everything else we have in common. It's all just as essential. And we have a lot more in common than we are different. And that's where we should focus, and so we can appreciate the diversity of this lifetime. This present is a gift. The present is a gift, but it's a gift to the future. We only have one continuous lifelong moment on this journey, and each step, each second is a gift to the future. So that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. 20 minutes. I'm about to go pick up some gutter poppy zines. I'm about to go pick up some zines that basically gives the whole rundown, the whole experience of what the gutter poppy is and how it came about, all in a 12-page, you know what I mean, a 12-page little booklet that I'm gonna make available to purchase. If nobody told you they love you today, I just did. And if me telling you I love you doesn't help you, make sure to tell yourself, because that's what really counts. You know what I'm saying? Like the unity part Like, I'm telling you, I love you. This is an act of love. What I'm doing right now truly is an act of love, because that's where it comes from. And I hope you receive it as an act of love, and I hope you can absorb it as an act of love, and I hope you can give yourself the same kind of love that the sun gives the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to nurture it. The sun, sometimes the sun can bear down on the earth. You feel me? But the earth thrives that way. The earth thrives that way. We nurture the earth has everything it needs to nurture. It doesn't even need people on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I truly think it's the best we make the best of the time that we have here. We've been here for hundreds of thousands of years, and we didn't get hundreds of thousands of years down the evolutionary path competing with each other for a profit. Competing against each other, I should say. We didn't come hundreds of thousands of years competing against each other for a profit. We may have competed together with each other to cooperate and collective abundance. Like, that's how people survived. Like, one person hunts a buffalo and 50 people eat. You see what I'm saying? 6 people, 10 people hunt the buffalo and 50 people eat. Like, that's how it works. That shit is, you know what I mean? It's not like the 10 people that got the buffalo, then only they get to eat it. It's not possible. Like, that's crazy. That's how, but, and then we're supposed to hoard it. We're supposed to store it. And while other people are starving. I don't think that's our true will. I don't think that's the true nature of humanity. I think that's the ego, that little id, that child, that little baby who was crying for something to feed it, crying for something to nurture it. Collectively, that all of our collectiveness, the collective ego, the collective id, the collective baby inside is crying for something, collectively manifested into a profit motive. And it's control, and they use everything to consumerism. They use religion, they use media, they use racism, pitting people against each other, focusing on differences to pit people against each other, to control us, to keep us from realizing that, hey, we can cooperate, and we can truly make this back to be like an Eden. Heaven on earth, like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real ass talk. Peace.